Good morning, Michelle Saxman here, and ready to share with you some time with Jesus Calling by Sarah Young on March the 29th. I think a great reading, at least for me today. And just a quick reminder that this month, the month of March, what the reading is, John chapter 10, verse 4, when he has brought out all his own, he goes on ahead of them, and his sheep follow him because they know his voice. And y'all, this is a training to know that voice. And we discussed it just a few days ago that for me, when I really contemplated hearing his voice, it was going to sound like the fruits of the Spirit. It was going to be voices, the internal voices, that hamster wheel that goes round and round can be filled with fear or filled with love. So if it's going to be speaking to me from places of love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, then that message will be from my Heavenly Father. So if I begin thinking about things, I'm a mom, I have 4 children. They're mostly grown, gone, and moving on their own, out on their own. And certainly I can begin to worry and wonder, this one, this job, this season, this move, whatever it is that's going on in their lives, different things that are going on even in my work. Can I begin to wonder and worry? Absolutely. But if I bring that concern before my Heavenly Father and I'm filled with peace, then I know to proceed. But if I'm filled with more doubt and worry and anxiety, chances are I need to release that control and I need to put it back down. And again, the ego is kind of born of the culture. The spirit is born of our Heavenly Father. The spirit, as spiritual beings having a temporary human experience, the spiritual part of us, the emotional part of us, that is what is made in the image and likeness of our Heavenly Father. And when the ego takes a hold and wants to take control of an outcome, but I'm feeling anxious and full of fear, or I say when my shoulders get up in my ears, my jaw gets tense, my stomach might be in knots, then y'all, those are not going to be things my Heavenly Father believes I need to be contemplating today. When he plants that seed and it's filled with the fruits of the Spirit, I know that it's time to proceed. If I'm still wrapped around an axle, y'all, I need to put it down, clear my mind, create that stillness so that I can hover above the circumstance and see things from his perspective. So stop trying to work things out before their time. Time is a teacher. The universe is always unfolding for our benefit, even when it is uncomfortable. And then I think it's really important to, at least for me, it has been Ecclesiastes. When the war in the Ukraine first broke out, I found a lot of comfort in Ecclesiastes and acknowledging that there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. And pulling up Ecclesiastes and just kind of reviewing it and refreshing my mind and why it brings me peace. Because there's a time for tyranny. There's a time for war. There is a time for peace. There's a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plant and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time, sorry, my computer rolled. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace. Y'all, our Heavenly Father is in the midst of all of that time. He is timeless. He is in the weeping and he is in the laughter. He is in the love. He is in the war. He is in the peace. It is all in where we allow our internal environment to be. And he will let us know if we need to release control, if today's the day that he wants us to carry that, if it's on the agenda for today. So those are my takeaways, a little bit longer, but there's a lot going on in our world. And just know he is in the midst. It is up to us to kind of ask him to remove the scales from our eyes, to remove these heavy burdens from our heart so that we can be a light. We can become a lighthouse. We can be a reservoir of peace. You all have a super blessed day. Stay connected to the vine, and I will talk to you soon. Bye-bye.